and welcome to the Rebecca Haydon Show. I am so excited for today's episode. We are talking about 3 juicy ways to enhance your personal brand. Now, in order for this to really become part of your attraction marketing strategy, I want you to know that you need to make sure that 1, you truly understand your ideal client and your niche and you know how to speak to them, and 2, that you show up consistently and you're using call to actions, you're talking about your services. So we're kind of at the next level right now. So I want you to make sure that you've got that baseline sorted before you start to then add these little juicy, spicy tips that I'm going to be talking about today. So step number 1 is showcase and play from your values. Our values tend to change depending on what we're going through, depending on our time of life, depending on our season of our business. What I want you to start thinking of is really understanding your personal and business values and how you can show this in your social media. The reason why we do this is because values are very intertwined with how our ideal clients see us too. And a lot of the time, the values that our ideal clients hold are 9 times out of 10 the same values that we hold too. Now, what I mean by showcasing and playing from your values is not sitting down on your Instagram stories being like, "Hello everyone, my name's Rebecca Haydon and my 5 top values are freedom, health, love." You know, we don't need to do it in that way. The more that we can showcase and play from our values quite subconsciously, the more our ideal client will start to resonate with us, connect with us. There's lots of things that we can do for that. So really play with them, be the embodiment of that value. So the first thing I want you to really think about is, what are your 5 top values? Really know and understand that. So for example, my top value is experience. I talk about when I was a kid, it was all about the experience for me. You know, if we had fajitas and nachos, I wanted like full Mexican hats, the sombrero, the music, you know, I wanted the full works. Even when I'm just watching a film with my partner Dan on the weekend, it has to be like the right lighting and candles, and everything is about the experience for me. It is a top value of mine. So I make sure I show that value not only in the experience that I give my clients when they say yes to investing. Everywhere that I am on my stories, I create an experience. That experience could be the colors that I use, the aesthetics, the pictures, the little swirl that I put on my stories. There's lots of ways that you can do that, and I show that through my value of experience. So I want you to have a little sit down today and write down your top values, whether it's life, whether it's business. Like I said, they'll probably be intertwined, and really think to yourself, okay, what do I already do daily that plays into this value? Freedom is another big value of mine. And you know, freedom for me is taking Finley for a walk at 1 p.m. It is going to the gym whenever I want. You know, I show that freedom, and also my ideal client really craves and wants that freedom too. So I'm actually embodying the transformation of what they want to be. So number 1, showcase and play from your values. Number 2 today is breadcrumb your personality and your personal life through your stories. Your stories are your reality TV show. Now, I'm not talking Married at First Sight or Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We are not going there, guys. However, your stories are a way to really showcase and bring out the character, the personality that you want to be online. These are huge for me. Stories are the place that I really, truly warm and nurture and create that community feel within my community and for my ideal clients. You can have things like mini trainings and talking about your offers, but I believe really bringing in that personal side of you, that personal brand is so, so important. The way that you bring your personality through and you bring your personal life in doesn't mean that you have to be showing what you've had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Unless you're like a nutritionist, then by all means, please do. We're not talking about that. I'm not talking about you sharing every single in and out and up and down, but bringing in little traits and quirks and likes and dislikes, even down to what you're watching on Netflix. But what this does is it actually allows and gives permission to your ideal clients to create conversation without it feeling really sales heavy. I get a lot of my clients and a lot of ideal clients who don't like selling, who hate the cold DMs. And I find really talking about personal stuff that has to do with business, we need to draw a line here, and everything I share that's personable has some sort of connection with my ideal clients, so keep that in mind. But it opens the connection, it opens the conversation. So for instance, one of my clients who has recently signed into my 6-month one-to-one, she said, you had a dog, you were northern, and there was something else, but all 3 of them were completely personal about me. Yes, of course, she signed up because of the transformations that I get with clients, because what I teach, because what she needed, but a big part of that was because of the personal side. So really start to bring that out, and there's ways that we can pepper this through your content. So the best way to do this is think to yourself, okay, I am the personification of my ideal client, if that's where we're at. What do I already do in my life, in my day-to-day, in my week-to-week, that I could show on my stories that brings that connection in? Am I sitting binging Bridgerton on a Monday? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, I did that last week. Binged it from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't come at me. But, what sort of things are you doing day to day that you think could create a connection? I always talk about this, my love for a porn star martini. Now, when I first started talking about porn star martinis, the amount of conversations that I had, the amount of people who reached out for the recipe, the amount of people who really then went on to drink porn star martinis was incredible. And it breaks that barrier, it breaks that wall between you and your ideal client, because you're talking about a bloody porn star martini. Then you've had that first initial conversation, which then makes it easier for them to reach out or for you to check in, etc. moving forwards. So what is your version of my porn star martini? And like it's now a gift, so it ain't going anywhere soon. Step number 3 is create, embrace, and embody a feeling. I talk about this so often, and it goes back to the quote. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. One of my Mama Jules' favorite quotes, and I stick by it in my business, because you need to create a feeling on your social media. Well, to be honest, anywhere that your ideal client is, create a feeling for them. That's why I love creating experiences, because experiences bring feelings. So how do you want your ideal clients to think and feel and act and behave when they consume your content, when they consume you? What does your ideal client need to hear today? How do you want them to feel today? What do they need to know in order to move forwards? And how can you evoke the feeling for them to be able to move forwards? This is really one of my favorite things to do, whether it's determined, motivated, action orientated, grounded, calm, whatever the feeling is for you and how you want your ideal clients to feel. Really tap into this today, because like the quote says, people will never forget how you made them feel. And we want to really evoke that feeling the moment they come onto your social media page. So to wrap up, step number 1, showcase and play from your values. Number 2, breadcrumb your personality and your personal life through your stories. Treat your stories as your own reality TV show. And number 3, create, embrace and embody the feeling that you want your ideal clients to have when they come onto social media. These 3 ways have enhanced my personal brand. And like I said right at the beginning of this episode, make sure you have the foundations in place before you start adding in these, because actually you will find it easier to add these in once the foundations are set. So if you want more information about what is going on in April, I have got my masterclass that landed yesterday, and that is All Eyes on You, like a bit of Britney Spears. All eyes on me in the center of the ring, just like yeah, we know the one. So that masterclass, I'm going to be teaching you how to use attraction marketing, especially in your stories, to become the client attraction magnet that you desire to be. So if you want to grab your ticket, go to the links and you will be able to just head on over to the landing page, click in, get your ticket, bish bash bosh, you are in. I will see you on the next episode. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.